What's up, you guys? Welcome to the Ant-Man channel on this Friday, the 31st of May, 2013. Last day of, we're going close to pretty much the middle of the year now. Time flies, man. Time flies. Playing in the background there is Brand New with The Quiet Things That No One Ever Knows. Yes, indeed, the things that I cover, which is the truth, are the quiet things that no one ever knows, as a matter of fact. All credit goes to them, if you want to catch me for copyright or something, I don't try to take any credit for having music on my show. I just have it there just for fun in the background sometimes. But anyway, there was a quote that I really liked today. Sick quote. It was by, I don't know, but I can pull it up real quick before I start reading you this. Yep, because it's pretty good. I mean, sometimes when people that fight for liberty say things, they get really deep and they get really, what I would call virtuous. We have a lot of figures like that in our society, but people don't ever notice them because you're getting force-fed like Lil Wayne all the time. Like, I cannot escape Lil Wayne. He's around every corner, it seems like. Like, you cannot get past one day without seeing that stupid face. I mean, it gets so ridiculous. But anyways, man, I don't like Lil Wayne, right? I don't like people who push, like, I like being raped and whatever he says. The guy's a moron. I don't even know, like, how he even gets the platform that he gets. I guess it's, part of the whole eugenesis operation. They want to dumb you down. And what better person to put in front of you than Lil Wayne? Listen to that guy and you're on the fast track to idiocracy, my friend. Well, you know what? I kind of gypped you guys. I told you I was going to read you a cool quote, but for some reason it's just not coming up. Anyways, you know why you came down here. You want me to read you some news, so I'll just get on with it. I got here in front of me a couple of articles. I'll try not to never do that again, you guys. I shouldn't ever tease you with a quote from someone. I think it was like Ron Paul or something, saying that violence is only like necessary when it's under self-defense. He said it way better, but anyways, I got in front of me some articles here from the Times of Israel. In front of me, I got a article I've been wanting to read for the past 2 days. It's called Hebrew Professors Weigh In on Oldest Torah. 12th century scroll was discovered in an Italian university library after being mistaken cataloged in 1889. Very old looking manuscript, man. That thing looks so old. I don't even know how things like that can even survive, man. Like, it really blows my mind. And then you got all the atheists that just say, oh, when you die, you die. And it's like, you have no proof of that. You never have and you never will have any proof of that. But I have a book here that it's been able to survive through thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And somehow it's ended up in my room. And it tells me that when I die, that my soul it's immortal. That I don't really die, just my body. You know what I mean? And that's the Word of God that has that, you know what I mean? That it's fortified. That word, that's the Word of God. That's a promise. That's something that has inspired and led the lives of very empowered people, very big, figures in just history, man. Like the Apostle Paul and Barnabas, man. How awesome was it when they went to Lystra and they performed miracles and they saw how, superstitious and idolatrous the people were there, that they actually started worshiping Paul and Barnabas. They actually thought Barnabas was Zeus, and they thought Paul was Hermes because he was like, the guy that talked most of the time. But anyway, here we go, Rome. This is from AP, Associated Press. An Italian expert in Hebrew manuscripts said Wednesday he has discovered the oldest known complete Torah scroll, a sheepskin document dating from 1155 to 1225. It was right under his nose in the University of Bologna library. Wow, there's a place called Bologna Library? The University of Bologna Library. That's kind of a weird name to call your university anyway, because it looks like Bologna. Anyway, where it had been mistakenly cataloged a century ago as dating from the 17th century. The find isn't the oldest Torah text in the world. The Leningrad and the Aleppo Bibles, both of them, The both of them Hebrew codexes or books predate the Bologna scroll by more than 200 years. But this is the oldest Torah scroll of the Pentateuch, the 5 books of Moses, according to Mauro Pirani, a professor of Hebrew in the University of Bologna, Cultural Heritage Department. Why would you? I mean, I gotta get this. Why would you? Why would you name your university Bologna? I mean, you might as well give the University of Harvard that name, because it's like, what are you learning there? You know, like Bologna. I mean, that sounds like something not very prestigious, in my opinion. 2 separate carbon dating tests performed by the University of Salento in Italy and the radiocarbon dating laboratory at the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, spells it with an H, I guess, confirmed the revised dating according to a statement from the University of Bologna. Such scrolls, this one is 36 meters, 40 yards long, and 64 centimeters, 25 inches high, are brought out in synagogues on the Sabbath and holidays, and portions are read aloud in public. Few such scrolls have survived since older damaged Torahs have been buried, have to be buried or stored in a closed room in a synagogue, you know, to preserve it, I guess. In a telephone interview Wednesday, Pirani said he was updating the library's Hebrew manuscript catalog when he stumbled upon the scroll in February. He said he immediately recognized the scroll had been wrongly dated by the last cataloger in 1889, because he recognized that its script and other graphic notions were far older. I mean, well, in 1889 they didn't have the type of technology, I guess, that we do. This article goes on, but I guess I'll read it. I guess I'll see how much I took up a lot of your time in the beginning here with my talking about, you know, absolutely nothing sometimes. So, in a telephone interview Wednesday, saying that the scroll's wrongfully been cataloged. Specifically, he said the scroll doesn't take into account the rabbinical rules that standardize how the Pentateuch. You know, I'm having a tongue twister right now. Pentateuch should be copied, that were established by Maimonides in the 12th century. The scroll contains many features and markings that would be forbidden under those rules, he said. In the 1889 cataloger, a Jew named Leonello Madonna had described the letters in the scroll as an Italian script, rather clumsy looking, in which certain letters, as well as the usual crowns and strokes, show uncommon and strange appendices, according to the University of Bologna release. Pirani, however, saw in the document an elegant script whose square letters were of Babylonian tradition, the statement said. Pirani told the Associated Press it was completely normal for a cataloger to make such a mistake in the late 1800s, given the science of manuscripts was not yet born. Outside experts say the finding was important, even though older Hebrew Bibles do exist. It's a fairly big news. It is fairly big news, says James Aiken, a lecturer in Hebrew and Old Testament studies at Cambridge University. Hebrew scholars get excited by very small things, but it certainly is important and clearly looks like a beautiful scroll. However, Giovanni Garbini, a leading expert on ancient Semitic languages and retired professor at Rome's La Sapienza University, said the discovery doesn't change much about what the world knows about Hebrew manuscripts. Well, that's kind of stupid to say, you know, like, if it came from Babylon, you know, that must have meant that they were writing Bibles while they were, exiled and, put in slavery. So that's pretty crazy. It's an example of an ancient scroll, but from the point of view of knowledge, it doesn't change anything, he said in a telephone interview. But Stephen Fan, acting president of the University of Holy Land in Jerusalem, and an expert in ancient Jewish manuscripts, said it accurately dated the scroll is a rare and important find. We don't have anything much from that period, Fan said. There are far older scraps of Torah scrolls that can be dated back to the 8th century. But Fan said it was rare to find a complete manuscript. The find was also emotionally important, he said, because the scroll, as opposed to a bound book, is used for reading Torah portions throughout the year in synagogues. It's almost a friendship that they have come to know the Torah scroll in their midst. And they draw their knowledge and focus on worship and how they live their daily life, Fan said. Yeah, absolutely, man. I love Torah portions and half Torah comparisons, and all that stuff really gives you an in-depth look at the Word of God. It's almost a friendship, he says. Prani said it remains a mystery how the scroll came to be part of the Bologna University library, but that he anticipated further study would now begin. The scroll remains in the library and doesn't require any extra conversation, precautions beyond what it already has, he said. Pretty cool, you guys. You know, nowadays you see a bunch of stuff just turning up. Gogekli Tepe, I believe it's called. Gogekli Tepe is a freaking old civilization that we just happened to stumble across. Well, a farmer happened to stumble across it, but it's so old, and it was preserved by the people who built it because they buried it under the sand. So you know that you can know that the original people that built it were the ones that carved all the things, you know, all the animals or whatever all over the walls and all over the pillars and all that, and you can tell that it's not been tampered with by generations and civilizations that lived after it, and it marks probably the oldest civilization ever discovered. And nowadays we're just unlocking so much mystery. God is removing the scales from our eyes to reveal to us the mysteries of the world and of the universe and all that. And I know to you idiocracy gangbangers that sounds like fag talk, but to me that's amazing. And it gives us a new perspective on why we exist and why we're here and how we're doing and what we're doing here and all that, you know? It's good to know that stuff. I have a purpose. I love that I have a purpose. Before I knew I had a purpose, I was a piece of crap, man. I lived a very bad life. I blasphemed against God. I wrote music that blasphemed against God. I mean, I don't have time to give you my whole testimony, but pretty much I come from a very sinful life of destruction. And I know that when you look at the other side, you're in good company. You get to see good things, man. Things that make it worthwhile to be here and all that. But anyway, I'm going to just cut it short right here. Subscribe to my channel, and God bless you. Woo! I talk fast sometimes.